Who was the queen who fooled everyone into thinking she was a man and ruled her country for 34 years? How did a woman control a vast empire and subjugate the greatest Roman emperors? Who was the woman they called the African lioness, and how did she lead her country's armies for 30 years until she liberated her country? Stay with us and see the greatest women in history. History is full of women who made history and changed the world forever. Cleopatra VII, Queen of Intelligence and Planning. When we mention her name, her legendary beauty comes to mind. But the truth is that Cleopatra's real power lay in her sharp intelligence and political prowess. Thanks to her skill, she attracted the two most powerful men of her time, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. She was able to manipulate everyone and forged complex political alliances in a world dominated by men. She ruled one of the greatest kingdoms of her time and maintained Egypt's independence for years against the rising power of the Roman Empire. Her tragic death made her one of the most intriguing figures in ancient history. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hatshepsut, the queen who fooled everyone into thinking she was a man. She ruled Egypt with rare intelligence and an iron fist. At that time, ancient Egypt would never have accepted a woman as a ruler. So when Hatshepsut became regent after her husband's death, she came up with a clever ruse. She appeared in statues and paintings with a false beard, like the male pharaohs, and wore the male royal attire to convince the people and priests of her ability to rule. Egypt stabilized and prospered under her rule, and her most famous achievement was her legendary trade expedition to the land of Punt, now Somalia. The ships returned from this voyage laden with gold, treasures, incense, ivory, and exotic animals, bringing Egypt to the height of its wealth. She also built one of the most beautiful temples in history, the Temple of Deir al-Bahari in Luxor. After her death, her stepson Thutmose III tried to erase her name and deface her statues, but archaeologists discovered her amazing story, which proved that true leadership has no gender. Khadija bint Khuwailid, the businesswoman who believed in her husband's mission and changed human history forever. Lady Khadija, may Allah be pleased with her, was a very successful businesswoman. Before her marriage to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, she had a huge business that spanned the East and West. Lady Khadija was known for her good character and wisdom, so much so that she was nicknamed the Pure One. She supported her husband with her money and spirit without hesitation. She was the economic and psychological support for the Islamic call in its most difficult moments and contributed with her money and faith to building one of the greatest civilizations in history. Fatima al-Fihriya, the woman who built the first university in the world in the 9th century AD in the city of Fez, Morocco. A Muslim woman named Fatima al-Fihriya inherited a vast fortune from her merchant father, but instead of spending it on a life of luxury, she invested it in a huge project that changed the face of education forever. She bought land and began building Al-Qarawiyyin Mosque, but this was not just a mosque, but became a huge center of learning that attracted students from all over the world. From its halls emerged great scholars such as Ibn Khaldun and the physician Ibn Majah. What Fatima did was indirectly establish the world's first university to award degrees according to UNESCO and Guinness Book of World Records. Queen Mother Nzinga, the African lioness, one of the greatest warrior queens in history. She ruled the kingdom of Ndongo in present-day Angola in the 17th century and led a fierce resistance against the Portuguese colonists for 30 years. She was highly skilled in military tactics and diplomacy, allying herself with the Dutch to confront the Portuguese. She was known for her inspiring speeches and legendary courage on the battlefield. Marie Curie, the woman who lit up the world with her mind. Marie Curie discovered two new chemical elements, polonium and radium. Her discovery caused a real scientific revolution, but her most remarkable achievement was that she was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the first person ever to win Nobel Prizes in two different fields, physics and chemistry. Valentina Tereshkova, the woman who conquered space. On June 16, 1963, young Soviet woman Valentina Tereshkova took off aboard the Vostok 6 spacecraft to become the first woman in history to go into space. Her journey was extraordinary as she orbited the Earth 48 times in 3 days. Through her journey, she expressed the will and ability of a woman to achieve the impossible, even in the harshest and most dangerous environments. Elvira Nabiullina, the enchanting woman who saved Russia's economy. When Russia launched its war on Ukraine, economic sanctions rained down on it like thunderbolts. The Russian ruble collapsed, and the entire Russian financial system was on the verge of collapse. That's when Elvira Nabiullina, head of the Russian Central Bank, stepped in. She began making bold and unexpected decisions. She raised interest rates to 20%, closed the stock market, and imposed strict restrictions on foreign currency withdrawals. These were very harsh and severe measures, but they saved the ruble from the abyss. Within weeks, the ruble not only recovered, but became stronger than it had been. Russia was saved from certain collapse, and Nabiullina became the undisputed heroine of the economic war. These women changed history and reshaped the world, and there are dozens, perhaps hundreds, more like them. These women are living proof that willpower knows no gender and knows no impossibility. In your opinion, which woman deserves her own episode, whether from those we mentioned in the video or those you suggest to us? We look forward to your responses in the comments. Finally, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.